Hi, I'm Tori Bowman. For many people with disabilities in Ontario, the search for accessible housing is challenging. For some people owning their own home, this is a matter of renovating or ensuring a new build uses universal design. For others, it means finding an accessible rental unit that's also affordable, which can involve long wait times and significant compromises sometimes on the accessibility. On this episode of Underestimated, presented by Oatley Vigmond Personal Injury Lawyers and brought to you by Spinal Cord Injury Ontario, we're talking about accessible housing. Tami Tarini is the Director of Client Services at Independent Living Services, Simcoe County. Tami shares the impact of housing on ILS Simcoe clients in the region, as well as some promising solutions and partnerships that are in the works. Nancy visits with Mohamed Mohamed at his home in Scarborough to see the improvements he's made in his space and his journey to get there. And Dave Kemp welcomes us into his home to talk about the support he received and what made renovations go smoothly for his family after his injury. Independent Living Services Simcoe County provides support services to adults with disabilities and seniors living in the community. Joining me now is Tami Tarini, the Director of Client Services at ILS Simcoe. Welcome, Tami.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad you could come. So to start off, can you tell us about ILS Simcoe, what services you provide in the community?
Absolutely. So Simcoe, for over 40 years, ILS has provided support services for adults with physical disabilities and more recently seniors who are living in the community who require assistance with activities of daily living, such as personal care, bathing, transferring, dressing, and meal preparation. We provide two types of services. Our assisted living services, which is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and our personal support program, which runs from 6 a.m. till midnight. Both of the programs you need, it is based on the client's assessed needs and their preferences.
And what kinds of needs, as it relates to housing, do your clients have?
So it's a very variety of question. Accessibility means different things to different people. Mobility needs are different for everyone. I think our biggest challenge comes when you're looking for accessibility, because we know there's a very limited resources for accessible houses as well as affordable housing. And when you put those two together, it causes quite a challenge for individuals that are needing both of them.
So to put that in context, for someone who requires an accessible and affordable housing unit, what would be the typical wait?
Years for an accessible unit. And as well affordable units. You have to have your name in on a wait list for both, which means they both need to come available at the same time. So it's not an ideal situation, but certainly a reality, especially within Simcoe County.
So given that, what are people doing during those years while they're waiting?
So ILS does work with some municipalities and some providers to make available 25 units that we've retrofitted that are in varying degrees of accessibility. Unfortunately, you need to be on our wait list to be eligible for one of those units. Mm-hmm. So it's certainly not the most equitable situation for people. Other than that, people are choosing to take units that are far from ideal. They're taking units that are not accessible for their needs, which means they could be moving around their apartment not safely, or not being able to get out of the unit. If someone's using a wheelchair, uses a wheelchair, and doesn't have steps or a ramp outside their home, it causes challenges. But if you don't have housing and that's the only thing that's available, sometimes we are seeing people take that unit just because that's all that's available for them. these situations can certainly cause challenges when they need to get out of the unit.
Yeah.
So we've seen people that will call emergency services for a lift assist to get to their medical appointments or doctor's appointments that they need to, have assistance to get out of the home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the impact on the personal support that people require when they're living in a unit that's not accessible?
So our services go in, and that's not an issue. Our PSWs, our attendants, can assist get into the home, but you're right, actually, to try and actually assist the person that doesn't have an accessible shower, that can't get out of the bathroom or into the bathroom, certainly can cause a challenge when we're trying to provide services. Yeah. We will actually work with community funders and partners, as well as with the client, to try and find funding to assist with installing, whether it be a ramp for the individual to get out of the home, or it could be an accessible bathroom to assist with. Even just a grab bar is an aid that people need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the creative partnerships or solutions that you've been trying in Simcoe County?
So ILS has a program or a model of service. It's called Neighborhoods of Care. Individuals are able to stay in their own homes, and instead of them having to move to a building where we would have one of our accessible units, they actually can stay in their own homes, and our staff will assist them within that, within their home and their community. This way they don't have to move out of their community. Unfortunately, it's a very small, limited program due to funding that is not available across all of the county, so it's certainly not equitable in the greater scheme of things.
And what would you need to expand more creative solutions around accessible housing?
Certainly funding. Funding for neighborhoods of care would be perfect, as well as the County of Simcoe has their housing strategy that they're conducting right now for their 10-year strategy. So I'm sure the same issues are with them, is that they need funding as well to ensure that they've got funding for a 10-year strategy that would provide equitable housing for individuals that need accessible, affordable, as well as barrier-free units.
What's something you want everyone to know about accessible housing?
I think accessible housing, it needs to go beyond that. It needs to be, I think we need to take a step back and look at universal design. And it's about building from the ground up that is for everybody. So when you look at universal design, it actually takes into account individuals that would have strollers, people with sight or vision loss, people with different varying disabilities and mobility issues. So I think if you can build from that lens, then we don't end up with such disparity that we have now, where people don't have access to housing that's suitable for them.
Right. Okay, thank you so much for coming in, Tami. Where can people go to learn more about the services that you're providing?
So go to our website or call us, and we're happy to help.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming in.
Okay, thank you for having us.
Vigman Personal Injury Lawyers are proud sponsors of Underestimated. If you need a personal injury lawyer, we can help. For more information, please visit oatleyvigman.com.
Smudging is a very important part in our life as we're all learning to walk the good way. When we smudge, we use the sacred medicine, the white sage, the sweetgrass, the tobacco, and the cedar. It cleanses negative energy and replaces it by a positive energy. When I smudge, I cleanse my end, and my eagle feather and start cleansing my breath to have better words. I will smudge my eyes so I could see the better things offered to me. I will smudge my ears to hear the good thing that people have to say. I will smudge my hair to have good thinking from my head. I will bring the smudge to my feet so I could walk in respect with our Mother, the Earth. Smudging is the way we give our prayers to connect our spirit to the Creator. We express gratitude for the gift of life, the learning, and growth.
Unbelievable. You just never see that. What a shot. The OHL on Rogers TV.
My name is Mohamed. I was born in Africa. I'm old now, so 1981, a long time ago. Seems like yesterday. I'm a T12 paraplegic, incomplete, so it's like my entire life kind of changed. I was an athlete. I played a lot of basketball and stuff like that. So that's gone, and the independence, that's the biggest thing for me. I was never the one to be dependent upon anyone except God, and I was free. Like I moved out of my home when I was like 16, so I've just been independent all my life, and now I feel like I have to lean on a lot of people, and I'm not used to that. Accessibility, availability, price, and it's hard enough when you're fully able. But when you're in this condition and just being released from incarceration, there was no pre-planning. Even though there's programs available, they don't really let people know about the programs. So it was just like, there you go, thanks for 3 years of your life, have a good day. And I'm like, I had to have a friend bring a wheelchair. I didn't have access to ODSP. So I didn't even know where to start. I went in and out of the hospital 3 times since my injury, and each time I kind of had to find a new place. Circumstances ended up that way, and each place was more challenging and less accessible, and it was like rooming houses because like I didn't have the revenue set up for an apartment like this at that time. Everything took time, but in the meantime I needed somewhere to live, so it was kind of like I had to take what I could get, and I was trying to find a place like with some help, but mainly from my bed in the hospital. So it was like a challenge, I couldn't even go and view the places. So sometimes I would have to just accept a place without even seeing it. First time it was an apartment building. I mean, it was like a rooming house, and I had to go up 2 levels of stairs to get into my apartment, my bedroom, and that was brutal. And the shower was really tough because it was a bathtub, and I didn't have the benches. I didn't even have a occupational therapist. I haven't seen one yet at that time. I didn't even really know what the system was, so like how you have to apply for these things. I had no idea, and it was super dangerous because any fall could move something or dislodge something. So it was super hard. And then my second apartment, there were some promises made to install a ramp, and those promises were broken. So I would have to leave my scooter in a really public sidewalk in a main street, and then go up a set of stairs, and then fight with a really heavy fire door just to get into and then a secondary door. And then it was like, after that, I didn't want to leave because it was such a fight just to get in. And it was brutal, and it was very limiting and depressing, emotionally, physically challenging. And it was hard. The turning point came with the help of Sherry from Spinal Cord Injury Ontario. She was immediately like, "Oh my God, this is not suitable for you." I'm like, tell me about it. So she didn't. A lot of people said that, and a lot of people were empathetic, but she took the initiative, and she literally, like the day after, told me, "I got a place I want you to see. Come check it out." And I've spoken to Coda. She did the legwork for me, and we realized that we could just transfer my rent from there to here. There was no lease that was holding me back. It was monthly, but I did have to apply for this place on my own, do a credit check. But I brought a friend to support me as a co-signer, just in case, because I didn't want to risk losing it. But she made the initial contact for me. She found the place. She set up the appointment for me. She made my life. So she was exactly what I was looking for the whole time. And it wasn't just empathy, it was action. And she literally at least got me through the door. And then I had to do the paperwork. And then once I got accepted, it was just, I can never thank her enough. ODSP total budget before rent, I believe, it's a rough math, but it's about, for me, and in my present condition with the supplementary stuff that I have for transportation and diet, it's not like the base number, but it's still super hard to get by on. Much appreciated, but I think it's about 1,100, maybe 1,050. So my rent, my portion of the rent that I pay, that the quota pays the rest. The total rent is, I think it's more than 1550 now, something like that. It goes up every year, but I pay, I think 550, I believe, and quota supports me with the rest. So that's where they come in, and with the ODSP and the income from quota, that's how I'm able to afford the place that I need. A person who's not eligible for the extra, like, supplementary things that I've got would probably get like $500. That's just for the living allowance, kind of monthly, and then it would be like maximum of, I think, $535 for rent. So you couldn't even afford a room without the extra support that I have, like from quota, let's say. There's nothing decent anywhere in the city, even a room, that you're gonna get for that number. So you would have to cut into your monthly groceries budget, and et cetera, and at the end of the month you'd just be running around with $100 in your pocket for the whole month. And I don't know how anybody could survive without the extra support that I've gotten, you know. For me, my bathroom is like always my go-to, but also, like, I think the sinks are lowered, but mainly it's my shower. It's a walk-in. It's massive, so I have enough space for a bench. I have bars on all the walls that keep me safe, and it's easy access for myself and my PSW, and it's just super comfortable and a blessing. And the shower also is low, and it has like an attachable hand, so you can kind of move it around and, you know, take care of the hard to reach places. And the whole time you're like, my old place, my PSW could barely fit in enough to support me. It was like such tight space. So this is just a lot more open and concept, and a lot safer, you know, overall. So that's my main thing. For me, that's the biggest joy that I get out of this place. I love the space. I love the open concept. I can get by in my wheelchair without, you know, running into things. I can breathe. I wake up in the morning and I'm happy to be here. You know, it's not like, I think your environment affects at least me, it affects your mood, and that affects your mental health. So for me, it's I love everything about it. I love how modern. I love how, like, open it is. I love the high ceilings. You know, I feel I can breathe. I don't feel cooped up, and it's honestly a boost for my mental health just to wake up in here every day and just be happy to be home. There was no, I couldn't even dream of having a place like this before. It's very necessary for just living and being safe, you know.
Foley Vigman Personal Injury Lawyers are proud sponsors of Underestimated. If you need a personal injury lawyer, we can help. For more information, please visit oatleyvigman.com.
I did it. I need it.
A hero gave it.
And I am alive.
As an organ donor, you can save up to 8 lives and enhance the lives of 75 others. Please go to our website. Pledge a gift of life. You'll be glad you did.
Could you use some extra cash? Tune in to McLaren Arts Center TV Bingo on Rogers TV for your chance to win. We have $2,500 in prizes up for grabs every Tuesday night. 5 ways to play, 20 chances each night, but only one way to win. Tune in to McLaren Arts Center TV Bingo, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. only on Rogers TV.
Focus better.
Partner better.
Sleep better.
Breathe better.
Love better. Work better. Friend better. Unwind better.
Everything gets better when you get active.
My background or story began 14 years ago. I had a spinal cord stroke, ended up in Emerge at ILS Simcoe Hospital in Newmarket, transported down to St. Mike's the next day where the diagnosis of a spinal cord stroke was made. Back to South Lake for a couple of weeks and then down to Lyndhurst for 3 months. I'm a professional engineer, worked for a consulting firm in Orangeville, Ontario at the time, and more of a project management role than an engineering role, but I've been there almost 25 years when the incident happened. We lived at the home at the time. We'd been there probably about 10 years or so. Great neighborhood, great neighbors, established community. We had 2 sons, and it was important for them to be able to stay home in our mind, as well as myself. We briefly thought about relocating because it was a 2-story home with a walkout basement. But after a little thought, we said, no, this is where we're going to stay, and we're going to just have to make this house work. While I was at Lyndhurst, I was working with our drafting department and our planning department at the office as we put together the plans to add an elevator for all 3 floors in the house. We put a porch lift in the garage to get in. Some colleagues from work came and built a ramp even before I was home full-time, so I could come home on weekends from Lyndhurst. And very fortunate that we had a lot of support and we were able to do those modifications. Cindy, my wife, had touched base with some people that were all back in the communities. We got some ideas from them. We just internet research, finding out about elevators and what have you, contacting the suppliers, having meetings with them, and it just all came together rather quickly. We started the design work on Labor Day, and I was moved back into the house by Remembrance Day, so 2.5 months, all done. We're fortunate the engineering firm I worked for had a close relationship with the town of Bradford, so we knew the people, we knew the process, we were able to get to the front of the line maybe in a couple of cases, and again, just fortunate to have that relationship. The support we had, sort of a few different avenues. One was my colleagues at work. They helped out quite a bit. They arranged some times where they come over on the weekends with a bunch of guys to start maybe doing some demo work in the house, because we redid the bathroom. A group of friends that, some of us go back to early grade school days, literally grade 1, and they arranged a fundraiser for us, which was just so important because the cost of this work was well beyond our means at the time, and we were able to get it done and actually come out of it debt-free, basically. The ramp was built. It was meant as a temporary measure, but we left it there until we moved. So that plus the elevator to be able to get in the house and be able to access all 3 floors. The layout of the house worked really well, whereas we had the basement family room, then we had the kitchen on the main floor, and we had our master bedroom on the upper floor. So getting that elevator done to be able to get all the way through the house. We were able to, obviously we don't need an elevator in this house. We knew how the porch lift could work in the garage. We had to make sure that all worked out before we purchased the house so that we could park a vehicle and put the porch lift in the garage. The initial bathroom, it had a shower, it had a bathtub, a sink and vanity, and a toilet in it. It was just very crowded. Getting in and out of the shower was literally a 2-person job. So we tore it down to the studs in the floor and got rid of the bathtub, put in a roll-in shower and some cupboards and stuff like that with the sink. And it just works great. I can totally independent. Don't need to have anybody around to provide any assistance. The elevator was very convenient. I could literally just open the door, the elevator, roll in, and go to the floor, and it was like a 10-second transfer from floor to floor. Here, you've got to get on the lift. The lift works a lot slower. You need 2 wheelchairs because you have to have one at the lower level and one at the main level, because it's either that or, before we had the stair lift, we'd have someone have to carry my chair up and down the stairs. So now I have a second chair, one just stays in the house, and then this chair I'm in now is what I use for the rest of the time. It's all about being independent. So, you know, here you need a way to get in and out of your house. There's not too many houses that you can roll in and out of these days. So whether it's a porch lift or a ramp or whatever outside. And then I think it's important to have, once I'm in the house, I can be fully independent. You know, I can move around the entire house. I have the bathroom set up so that I don't need any attendant care or anything like that. You know, it enables my wife to go about her day and not worry about having to be home for me at any time, certain times. In and out of the porch lift is fairly quick. It's in the garage, so I'm out of the elements. If I was relying on a ramp of some sort, you know, obviously rain or, you know, Canadian winter could really have an effect on that. So just, again, being independent and, you know, not needing someone to shovel a ramp or something like that for me in the wintertime. I don't know if it's as much I would change, to be quite honest. I think it takes some planning. You know, you have to be able to talk to these suppliers quickly and get decisions made. We had a 10-day period where we had to get this house accessible for me between the sale of the old house and moving into here. So the suppliers we worked with were great. They actually came in and did both the stair glide and the porch lift install in one day.
Accessible housing is a complex issue that requires collaboration across all sectors and creative solutions to increase the options available. If this is something affecting you and your family, we can help determine the options in your region. I want to thank all of our guests for sharing their stories and inviting us into their homes. To learn more about our show, visit rogerstv.com/underestimated or visit Cortree.com. I'm Tori Bowman. We'll see you next time.